So let's talk about layer normalization and why we need layer normalization in LLM. So we know that we have an input vector or input vector matrices which we pass through our neural network, like layer 1 neural network, layer 2 neural network, layer 3 neural network, and so on and so forth. There can be n number of neural network between input and output. So when we pass through the layer of neural network, we get some values which are attention matrix, which are attention scores. We find out context vector. After each layer, we get our gradient values and everything. So sometimes what happens, or maximum cases, the values we get from our layers are high, which can cause exploding gradient problem or vanishing gradient problem. So to visualize the layer, I would say visualize a piece of paper. For non-STEM students, just visualize a piece of paper and consider that that paper has four values: x1, x2, x3, and x4. And to get what are our x1, x2, and x3 and x4, that is our input vector values on first layer. So to get our layer normalization values, what we will do, we will find a mean of these values. So how we find mean of these values? What we will do, we will say x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4. We will add four values which we have on our piece of paper, and we will divide it by 4. If the values are n, we will add n values and divide it by n number of values. So after doing that, this will give us mean of that value, and that we say is mu. So how we find our normalized value? So when we get mu, what we will do, we will say, okay, x1 minus mu, which is our mean, divided by square root, which is like 1 by 2 of variance, like the difference between two values, that is known as variance. So mu x1 minus mu root of variance will give us normalized value. So the x minus mu root of variance is our standard deviation. So in simpler word, what we are saying, that we will get our value, we will find a mean, we will find a standard variation, and then that value is our layer normalized value for our LLM. And why we need it? We need it for stability of our LLM. We need it for improvement in speed of our LLM, efficiency of our LLM, and to avoid exploding gradient or vanishing gradient problem while we propagate from output to input. And that's why we normalize our layers, and the process is called layer normalization.